Cardinal Richelieu, the chief minister to King Louis XIII of France, is often remembered as a political mastermind whose influence helped shape the course of European history. While much has been written about his political tactics, military strategies, and ruthless consolidation of power, one of his most significant achievements remains largely unseen: the vast and intricate espionage network he built and controlled. Through this covert system of spies, informants, and secret agents, Richelieu manipulated political rivalries, ensured loyalty within his own court, and crushed dissent, all while consolidating the king's absolute power. It was a tool of statecraft as essential as any army or diplomatic envoy, and it helped Richelieu craft a France that was both feared and respected across Europe. Espionage during Richelieu's era was not just about gathering intelligence, it was about creating and controlling the narrative. Richelieu's need for a sophisticated espionage network stemmed from the political chaos of 17th-century France, where power struggles between the monarchy, nobility, and various factions threatened the stability of the country. The Huguenot rebellions, the 30 Years' War, and the constant political intrigue at the French court demanded not just military might, but a careful orchestration of secret operations to ensure Richelieu's vision of a united and powerful France. Richelieu understood the importance of intelligence and the manipulation of information in achieving his goals. As a result, his espionage network became one of the most effective and far-reaching intelligence systems of the time. At the heart of Richelieu's network was his ability to infiltrate every level of French society, from the highest noble courts to the lowest gutters of Parisian streets. Unlike previous French monarchs, who relied on traditional diplomatic means and open military confrontation, Richelieu embraced the art of secrecy. The core of his intelligence network was built on informants who spied on both foreign diplomats and domestic enemies, monitoring political opponents, rebellious nobles, and anyone who might threaten Richelieu's hold on power. His spies often blended seamlessly into everyday life, making it nearly impossible for anyone to detect their presence or intentions. One of the most powerful tools at Richelieu's disposal was the Commissariat of Secrets, an official government institution dedicated to gathering intelligence and overseeing espionage operations. This organization was tasked with not only gathering information but also executing covert operations to suppress opposition. The Commissariat's agents operated across Europe, collecting data on the political and military activities of rival states, as well as monitoring the actions of French citizens, especially those suspected of disloyalty. A significant portion of Richelieu's spy network was made up of professional spies and informants, many of whom were trained in the art of disguise and deception. These individuals were recruited from various social classes and backgrounds, allowing Richelieu to tap into multiple layers of French society. Some of his most effective agents were the servants, courtiers, and merchants who operated at the fringes of the political elite. These individuals had access to critical information but could move undetected in and out of the court, making them ideal sources of intelligence. Their loyalty to Richelieu was paramount, and many were financially rewarded for their services. Richelieu's network also made use of an early form of psychological warfare. Not only did his spies gather intelligence, but they were also tasked with spreading disinformation and creating confusion among his enemies. This strategy was used most effectively in dealing with political opponents within France, such as the powerful and often rebellious French nobility. The cardinal's agents would plant false rumors, stage false encounters, or create fabricated reports, all designed to undermine the confidence of his rivals. The court of Louis XIII was rife with intrigues, and Richelieu used these machinations to his advantage, often turning his rivals' actions against them by manipulating the information available to them. One of Richelieu's most famous espionage operations was his involvement in the suppression of the Huguenot rebellions. The Huguenots were Protestant dissenters who were often in direct conflict with the Catholic monarchy. In 1627, during the siege of La Rochelle, Richelieu used his spy network to infiltrate the ranks of the Huguenots, gathering critical intelligence about their military tactics and alliances. His agents were able to feed disinformation to the Huguenots, destabilizing their positions and ultimately leading to their defeat. This intelligence operation was pivotal in securing Richelieu's influence in France and solidifying his control over both the monarchy and the Huguenot population. But Richelieu's espionage network did not only function to control domestic threats. It was also deeply involved in international intelligence operations. As a shrewd diplomat, Richelieu understood the importance of controlling foreign information. Throughout the 30 Years' War, Richelieu used his spies to monitor the movements of rival European powers, particularly Spain and the Habsburgs. His agents were stationed in cities like Madrid, Vienna, and even London, where they gathered valuable information on the military strategies of his enemies. This intelligence allowed Richelieu to make informed decisions on when and how to engage in diplomacy and warfare, often staying one step ahead of his rivals. Moreover, Richelieu's intelligence operations were not solely focused on politics and military strategy. He understood that controlling information also meant controlling public perception. One of the cardinal's most important achievements was his ability to manipulate the narrative of events to the benefit of the crown. He controlled the flow of news, selectively releasing information that would bolster his reputation and weaken his enemies. In an era before mass media, Richelieu's use of pamphlets, letters, and public declarations helped shape public opinion in favor of the monarchy and his policies. At the heart of Richelieu's espionage system was his intense desire to secure the future of the monarchy, which he viewed as the foundation of France's strength and prosperity. His network of spies, informants, and agents was instrumental in creating a government that was both stable and formidable. The cardinal's ability to control information, manipulate events, and outmaneuver his rivals ensured that he could maintain his grip on power, even in the face of internal and external threats. Richelieu's use of espionage was not without its consequences. His ruthless tactics in the pursuit of political power made him a deeply polarizing figure. While he helped transform France into one of Europe's most powerful nations, his methods were often seen as extreme. His network of spies was not just an instrument of governance, it was a tool for maintaining an iron grip on France, silencing opposition, and suppressing dissent. For many, Richelieu was the embodiment of the absolute monarch, a figure willing to do whatever it took to protect the crown. Nevertheless, the legacy of Richelieu's espionage network is undeniable. It laid the foundation for modern intelligence gathering, demonstrating the crucial role that espionage can play in shaping the course of history. His use of covert operations, disinformation, and psychological warfare was ahead of its time, and it influenced generations of future statesmen and intelligence officers. Through his spies, Richelieu created a political system that was as much about the invisible hand of power as it was about the visible institutions of government. Cardinal Richelieu's espionage network was not just a tool for surveillance and manipulation, it was a mechanism for control, a way of shaping the world around him to suit his vision of a powerful, centralized France. It ensured his survival in a world of political chaos, and it ultimately helped establish the legacy of absolute monarchy in France, which would reach its apex under Louis XIV. In a world where knowledge was power, Richelieu wielded that power with precision, turning espionage into a decisive element in the formation of modern Europe.